Many people gathered to get a glimpse of the Democratic presidential nominee. Adriana Mendez was with Kenosha residents. She has their view on Joe Biden coming to their town. Adriana.
Yeah, Carol, we're here at Civic Center Park, located across from the Kenosha County Courthouse, where a small group of professionals just wrapped up a gathering where they spoke about the change that they wanted to see here in this country. We spoke to other locals from across the city who are hopeful that the president and the Democratic presidential nominee who traveled here to the city recently this week will hear their message of change. On 60th and 21st Avenue, Jennifer Francourt stood outside on her porch, taking in the view of people from all backgrounds standing in support of Joe Biden. She says the former vice president's visit to her hometown will likely sway some voters, just not hers.
Trump's up there. He's got my vote this time around, I think.
Matthew Allen also says Trump has his vote, and he is proud of the job the president has done during his time in office.
You know, I've seen so many of my family and friends' lives positively influenced in the last 3.5 years because of things like the economy, the job market.
But others in Kenosha say not everyone has benefited from the Trump presidency and point to parts of the community here that are suffering. With Joe Biden in town, they came out to demand a change in leadership and a change in the country.
We've had enough of this 3+ years of Trump instigating hate.
Cindy Ayers believes Joe Biden is the right candidate who can unite the country during these divisive times. And he hopes the candidate leaves with this message.
This community is solid. You know, you can burn us, but you can't destroy us. We're coming back. You know, people are here because they're looking for a change. We're tired of the situation that's been going on.
And those professionals that were here at Civic Center Park spoke about how they want to see racism and oppression end here in this country. Reporting live in Kenosha, Adriana Mendez, TMJ4 News.
Adriana, thank you. President Trump's campaign released a statement ahead of Joe Biden's visit today, reading, quote, Joe Biden is trying to use a hurting community as a political prop for his failing campaign, while true leaders like President Trump are working with state and local officials to help Kenosha heal. Candidate Joe Biden is more interested in fomenting dissent and division.
There have been 8 days and nights of relatively peaceful activity in Kenosha, but new data from the Kenosha Sheriff's Department reveals a much different situation that dates back to Sunday, August 23rd. That's the day Jacob Blake was shot by police. The Sheriff's Department reports a staggering 31,204 calls for service in that time, more than 3,400 calls to 911, 252 arrests, 132 of those are people who live outside of Kenosha County. At least 23 fires also reported. For complete coverage from Kenosha and Wauwatosa on Joe Biden's visit, as well as the protests and community healing, go to our website, tmj4.com.
The slowdown of mail delivery from changes by the nation's Postmaster General is dangerous and harmful. Those are the words of Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin after touring the Postal Service's annex facility in Oak Creek. Baldwin says lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have sent urgent requests to the Postal Service to reverse those changes.
Every one of my colleagues, no matter their party, are hearing from their constituents about this issue.
Baldwin says she's heard from Wisconsin veterans who are not getting the medications they need in time because of the delays.
One big event that's not canceled this summer is going on this weekend. We will take you there live.
Plus, Wisconsin dairy farmers hit hard by the pandemic, getting a chance to help themselves and others.
It's been a beautiful day, sunshine. Temperatures got into the 80s, but it's windy. We knew it was going to be 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. Cold front has finally made its way through Waukesha and even into Milwaukee. Temperatures now dropped to 73. The dew points are dropping. Those winds, though, they keep whipping around anywhere from 15 to 35 miles per hour. How chilly it gets tonight, and does that mean a cold holiday weekend? Stay tuned.
Actor Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, opens up about his family's COVID fight and a reality check on the president's push to have people vote twice. Plus, as a new summer blockbuster opens, our look at the safety measures inside theaters on NBC Nightly News.
Welcome back. We're keeping a live eye right now on the neighborhood near 71st and Wright in Wauwatosa. Former Vice President, the Democratic nominee for president this time around in 2020, Joe Biden, is hanging out in a backyard in Wauwatosa talking education, a little roundtable discussion. We saw some video earlier from the one pool television camera allowed back there. We're expecting him to take the walk up the driveway. There's a good crowd of people assembled on 71st Street in Wauwatosa to get a glimpse and maybe snap a picture or two of the vice president. As you can see, those are all the cars lined up and down the street. Joe Biden, as the Democratic nominee, gets full secret service protection, something he had when he was vice president. It waned a bit in his years in between jobs, but now that he is the nominee, full secret service protection there near 71st and Wright in Wauwatosa. We're going to keep an eye on this, and if the vice president is on the move, he starts talking to people in the neighborhood there in Wauwatosa, we'll bring that to you.
And here are today's coronavirus numbers from the Wisconsin Department of Health. 727 new cases reported, bringing the total since the pandemic began close to 78,000.
7.9% of all the tests done came back positive today. If we look at our positive percentage as a 7-day average, it's still higher than they want it to be. It's over 8%. Health leaders want to see that number at 5% or lower.
The pandemic still hitting millions of people hard, including Wisconsin's dairy farmers.
But as Rebecca Clough reports, instead of dumping their milk, farmers are getting a chance to keep their businesses running by helping to feed the hungry.
Dairy farmers and producers across the state were dumping milk. Some faced losing their business because of COVID-19. But the Hunger Task Force put out the call for the community to raise money, and people responded. Now hungry seniors are benefiting. Marika Penterman is thrilled to be packing bags of food to give to the hungry. The Wisconsin cheesemaker and small dairy farmer had her cheese nominated for the top 20 best cheeses in the world back in March.
Then COVID hit, so mid-March everything went south. It was so devastating that, well, as dairy farmers here in Wisconsin, we had to dump our milk.
Marika and other dairy farmers were steps away from losing everything.
Not having food on our own table, I'm not sure what tomorrow will bring.
Ours goes specifically for cheese and yogurt. But with all the restaurants closing, with the schools closing, you know, all your normal supply chains were disrupted. And all of a sudden there was such a surplus of cheese because there was no place to go with it.
The Hunger Task Force saw what was happening in the dairy industry and put the call out, asking people to give donations so they could buy up milk, cheese, and yogurt from the producers.
Instead of having them spill their milk and have people go hungry, we agreed to use donations to buy that milk, and we have invested, like I said, just over $2 million.
Now seniors in need in Milwaukee are not just getting the typical food boxes, which includes peanut butter and bricks of American cheese. They're also picking up fresh milk, fresh Gouda cheese, yogurt, and other fresh produce that the Hunger Task Force paid Marika, Brian, and the other farmers for.
Thank you. We're a very small co-op. It's 13 farmers. We actually own 2 little cheese factories. So it was huge for us.
To be here and for us to increase our production and knowing that it comes to people that need it is a miracle.
The Hunger Task Force still needs help so it can continue its dairy recovery program. If you want to donate, we have a link on our website, tmj4.com. Reporting in Milwaukee, Rebecca Clough, TMJ4 News.
Thank you, Rebecca. Storm Team 4, it's been mild but blustery out there today, but it's very beautiful. Look at all that sunshine. And we had pleasantly mild temperatures. Brian Goddard's along with the latest forecast next.
Welcome back, everyone. It is windy. We knew it was going to be. Here in Cedarburg, the temperature has definitely dropped. We were close to 80 degrees probably about an hour and a half ago, and now temperatures are dropping into the lower 70s. It was 83 in Milwaukee, now 77, so still very warm out there. That's where we should be this time of the year. The northwesterly wind has kicked in after being